Welcome to Terms Unveil. Today we are having a special guest, Yonelisa Mtuzula. Our family is growing. Thank you to God for helping us do this special exclusive episode today. So I hope you enjoy it. It's Elia again, your host. Today we are doing one of the best episodes that you have never heard before. So we are narrating one of my poems. It's one of the first poems on the book called If the World Only Knew is still available on mmstore.co.za and on amazon.com. All right. The name of the title of the poem that we are going to be dealing with today is A Servant. So I'm going to first read it and then we narrate it. Otherwise, welcome to the channel.
Thank you for having me. Okay.
So yeah, I'll definitely have to read it to you, and you look amazing. I must mention that. Thanks for being on the channel, and everybody. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are blessed to have you around. Pretty face, and they've had enough of this handsome, hunky personality that is me alone on this great couch with my special tribal colors of Lesotho and Sotho guys. Anyway, here it goes. The poem that I've written, and it's very short. It's an epic poem that I think most people are going to benefit from it, and it's not going to be long, but I hope that you guys will enjoy. And I won't read it many times like I normally do because we go into just dive into it big time today. So here it goes. I hope you enjoy. A servant. A servant. Poor me, a servant of 4 kings. Dawn as a whole is to kiss their rings, black and white, fertile or barren, cloudy and sunny. I offer my services. To serve them all in strength, I need seeds. To keep moving and cease not to, until I am declared deceased, a servant. That is the poem. It's short and sweet and not easy to just understand if you just read it once like we just did. So Lisa is going to help us understand the poem today by putting me in a corner with a lot of questions. So over to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I hope I will be able to to help our fans to get the poem. So you can ask me any question you have about the poem.
But first I must say that the poem is so short but has a strong message and Okay, let's first start with the title.
Okay.
Why a servant?
Well, a servant, in short, or in just a glimpse, when a person think of a servant can be thought of as a person who's doing a job of a low income, or somebody who is doing hard work for someone, or a person that is more like a, what can I say, someone who's serving, someone who is more like a slave, somebody who is more like a, what can I say, more like a hard-working person for a low pay, or a low deserving pay, or if you get a service, there must be some kind of a pay or a form of gratitude that you get that is equivalent to what you are providing as a service provider. But a servant doesn't get what is equal to what to the service they have provided. So that's why I used the title a servant.
Okay, the next question. The first line says, poor me, a servant of 4 kings. Who are these 4 kings?
Poor me, a servant of 4 kings. Okay, great. Everybody wakes up in the morning for a reason. One may say, I wake up because I have children. One may say, I wake up in the morning because I have a career. One may say, I wake up in the morning because I'm working for myself. It's the same concept. In this poem specifically, the 4 kings are you as a person, yourself. You are one of the kings because you want to do something for yourself. You want to benefit something for yourself. But at the same time, not only yourself, some people are expecting something out of you. You may have a religion of some sort. You may have a tradition of some sort. That also expects something from you. Then it becomes a second king. The community or the country that you live in has rules against you, that you have to follow certain things, you need to pay taxes, you need to do this, you need to do that. That becomes a third king. And you have, this one is special, you are not born by yourself. You have a family that expects a lot out of you. You must come home at a certain time. You must do some certain house chores. You must do this. You don't freely live your life by your own will. Therefore, you are definitely serving the 4 kings.
Okay. Line 2.
Okay.
And I've noticed ekugqibeleni
Lines, yes.
kwemiqolo,
Yeah,
they say,
yeah, it's possible, yeah.
it ends with rhyming words.
Yeah, similarly, yes.
Style or,
Yeah, well, when you write poetry, you use we say it's poetry tools. Like you would say in a normal English grammar that we use paragraphs. In poetry we use stanzas, we use figures of speech. So those are rhymes. You want your poem to sound, in a certain way when a person reads it. But not just that, you also want what you say to leave a meaning to the person that is reading it. For example, there are adverts where when you read it, it stays in your mind, like chicken licking. That chicken licking, it's poetry. It stays in your mind because it has, that those clicks that makes you remember the advert. Iyahlala engqondweni yakho because of that. So there is an intention on why it is like that. Yenze lo ba ikwazi uhlala engqondweni yakho. So the same way, those 2 lines, kings and rings, are made for you to remember or to take note of what is happening in those 2 lines, line 1 and line 2. Okanye kuloo miqolo emibini phaa kuloo poem uba there are kings, there are rings. Kings are the people that a servant serves, but at the same time you must kiss their rings. So it's not enough to serve a king. You must also kiss their rings. When you kiss their rings, it's more like making you feel even less important. Because as you serve these kings that I mentioned earlier on, when you kiss their rings, somewhere you will feel like the more I'm serving these kings, I am losing part of myself. Because you are doing more for other people more than you do for yourself. I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's what happens. That's why there is kings and rings. It's not just a rhyme or a rhythm. It is to leave a message. And I hope viewers at home or across the world, they get that I'm trying to leave a message that you need to somehow make space for yourself, because you can't serve those kings if you don't make time for yourself, or if you don't prioritize yourself.
Yeah. Line 3.
Okay.
Mqondo wesithathu. Umuntu ke beyifundile uzayibona uba inde yeyona line
Inde. Okay, yeah.
And it has a strong message, I would say, or there's a deep, there's a meaning in that line.
Yes.
I don't know how to put it, but it has something.
Okay.
Why it's long, you get me?
Yeah. On line 3, it's a comparison of different things, but it actually means one thing. But the reason why I used different categories to explain one thing is to emphasize okanye kugxininisa ukuba this is important. So I made a list of things to give my readers an idea that this is important by putting different examples. So I went black and white, fertile or barren, cloudy and sunny. I offer my services. So that is about a servant has a job or a duty to serve. Whether it is cold, you still have to go to school because you have to fulfill your career so that you can be able to secure your self-security when you are older. At the same time, you have to wake up in the morning and do what your parents say do, even if it's cold or it's warm, because it is not your house. You get what I'm saying? You need to pray to God every day or whenever you have to, because God or whatever that you believe in, it's an overpower or a supernatural power that is beyond people's power to help you have faith and overcome things that you are scared of that nobody can save you from. So you don't have a choice to do that because you have fears that not even your mom can help you. You get what I'm saying? So in such cases, weather conditions don't matter. You still have to wake up. Whether you are fertile or you are not, you still have to go. Whether by fertile, I don't necessarily mean you can bear children or you can't. It goes to an extent that whether you are poor or rich, everybody still has to go through the same challenges. Whether, for example, it is hot or cold, whether you are Indian or black or you are Asian or Korean, it doesn't matter. You still have the same challenges to the kings that I am talking about in the poem. You still have to wake up to some level to make sure that you serve these kings. And it's something that everybody has to work hard to satisfy, and it is not easy. And As bad as it may sound, somehow it is necessary. That's why people shouldn't be lazy, because once you slack in the service of those kings at some point, sometimes life becomes even harder, because the community might be so bad to you, your family might be so bad to you, especially if you fail on the king, which is yourself and God. Then everything goes even harder. So you need to prioritize on these kings, and I advise that you prioritize the king, which is yourself, and God, and the purpose, which is your career, to make sure that, not career wise meaning the career that you went to school, but sometimes the passion of life, the reason for you, which you call my reason of existence. If you can embrace those, sometimes life becomes much easier. So yeah, that's why I wrote that line. We're almost done, guys. Almost done.
Line 4. It says, to serve them all in strength, I need seed. So my question is, why to serve them all in strength?
That you need strength and you need a seed. The fact is, you are not serving one king, therefore you need strength. That is one thing that I noticed. Therefore you need strength, but strength is one thing that is not always there. It's not always there in cars, it's not always there in people. Therefore you need strength, and the kind of strength a man needs, or by man I don't, and I want people to notice that in my way of writing, man doesn't mean man as in boys, or man, I mean man as in human beings. A man needs some kind of motivation within themselves, that self-motivation, without waiting for a tap on your shoulder from somebody else that says, I can do this, or I'm going to do my best to go, to pull myself to an extra length to conquer this. You need to have that in you to see the next day through, to have a good reason why you have to wake up to conquer all these challenges that we are facing. Because if you don't have that, it's like having a fruit. You can eat a fruit and finish it today, but if you don't have a seed to plant more trees that will give more trees and fruit, then it is hard. That's when you rely more on other people to help you move on. When those people are gone, then that means you are done.
Yeah, can you please explain number 5? I'm pretty sure kwabantu phayana bangamfumaniyo or don't understand with number 5.
Or line 5, meaning the line that says to keep moving and cease not to until I am declared deceased. It's a line that completes line 4 to say, I need a seed to keep moving and cease not to until I'm declared deceased. You need that self-motivation to keep moving and cease not to. Ceasing not to is, you need that seed so that you may not stop to keep moving until the day you die. So it's more like seeing breathing as a motivation to keep going until you can't breathe anymore. Then you know you have done your best on earth. and you go without regrets, that when you could breathe you did whatever you could do, and you don't care what one king says, whether it's yourself or it's any of the kings that we mentioned earlier on. You know that you go with peace because when you could, you did your best, and your best is enough, and is enough to you because you know you are the person that was giving it and not anybody else. That's why I say prioritizing yourself in all the process makes it easy for you when you can't anymore. Because if you prioritize other kings, when you can't anymore, you blame yourself. Even when you know you did your best, you still feel it wasn't enough. So,
Wow.
thank you
Number
so much.
5 motivates the slaves.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
iyamgqugquzela nyhani umuntu, imnika ithemba, I must say. The next question. The theme. What is, the theme of this poem?
Yeah, because I think we've already. Yeah, the message in conclusion would be to live on its own is not easy, because living is serving. Why am I saying living is serving? Is that the minute you are born, you have a responsibility you didn't ask for. You find yourself having thousands of rules for you that you're like, I just came here without a request, but all of a sudden there are things that I can't do, there are things that I can do that are designed for me. You get what I'm saying? So there are people that are already counting on me. I'm a firstborn, I'm a lastborn, I'm this. People that are like, it's my only son, I'm looking for, I depend on this child. And you are like, I just came here, and all of a sudden you depend on me. You were born first. So you realize that once you are born, companies, people that you didn't even know, people that didn't even know that you were about to be born, all of a sudden they depend on you, and life becomes a responsibility in that sense, that once a person is born, a person is so important that everybody puts a mark on that person, that you are here, therefore you we have a right to claim you, like you are of our own, like we own you, that you become one of our servants. We can claim your energy to say, mawuphela inyanga ndizakufonela ndithi ndidinga ihlangu, ndidinga into ethile, like you get what I'm saying, and we will make you feel guilty if you didn't do that. Things like that. So being born is one important thing on earth. It means that you are not just here, you are here to make a difference. That's why you need to love yourself and remember that you are somebody, and take care of yourself.
I think we are done.
Yeah, we are done. Thank you so much. If you want more of my poems and you want to understand them more, you can email us on thamespoetry@gmail.com and get more information. To buy our ebooks on the book that we've been analyzing today, it's www.mmstore.co.za, and the book is called If the World Only Knew by Eliam Pata, which is myself. Enjoy, and thank you so much. Goodbye.